Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage here, and today I'm interviewing Paul Gowen. What's up, Paul?
Dave, great to be with you. It's a wonderful day.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you. Last time I think we were in person together was when I did a power user mastermind here in Portland. That was a great group of people, and it actually sitting here with you right now reminded me I need to do that more often. And I'm gonna try to do a little reunion and get that group together again.
I'm all in for that. That is a wonderful group of people, and it energizes me just to be able to get together with other users and to hear what they're doing, best practices, and all that. It's really a good idea when you can bounce ideas off of people. How are you using it? What's working best for you? That sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I still remember, I think we had 11 or 12 people, and everybody, I invited people. It was the top users of Mortgage Coach in the Portland market. I think everybody at the table had done over 500 total cost analysis. I think you're close to 1,000 now. So everybody had served a lot of families with a total cost analysis, and it was a great conversation. So let's get into some of your ideas from that. And by the way, there may be some new ways you're using Mortgage Coach since then. First, if you could just tell everybody what market you're in, a little bit about your mortgage practice and your volume, and then we'll get into some big ideas.
Well, we are in our offices in Lake Oswego, Oregon, which is a suburb of Portland. I've been in the business for quite some time. Started in 1995, worked with a number of big banks, including Chase. Left in '05 to start this company. So Willamette Falls Financial will be 12 years old in October, and I personally did right around 25 million last year, and actually went into 2017 thinking that with the inventory constraints and the changes in rates and the forecast that we'd be lucky to be at 75% of that production, simply because 16 was so good. But actually, I think we're going to be higher than that. We may actually get all the way back to match 16, and pretty excited about that, even though, like a lot of markets, Portland is definitely struggling with tight inventory and those kind of challenges. But we're excited that the business keeps going, and we're continuing to develop new relationships all the time.
Love it. And how many families are you helping on a monthly basis, just so we get a feeling for the number of loans that you're doing?
Oh, yeah. Generally speaking, we're funding 7 or 8 loans per month. I'm fortunate in our market that we have pretty high average loan amounts. We run an average of just under 300,000 per loan.
Right on. Well, that's great production. You do a great job. So let's start with the fact that why do you use Mortgage Coach? What is the reason that you're on the team, you're part of the community, and you use our technology? What's your why?
It's a differentiator. Nowadays, with the buyers that are in the market right now are automatically going to do a ton of research. They're going to see things online. They're going to see rate offerings online. They're going to talk to any number of people, any number of different banks, any number of different loan officers. And we want to use Mortgage Coach right up front. I want to start talking to them about goals and objectives, and then very quickly move into a total cost analysis presentation that we actually try to do most of the time using Edge Live, so that even though the person is sitting at home or in their office, we can have an instant connection, walk them through that, talk about what their goals and objectives are. And it just raises the bar on the expertise level that we feel like they're getting, and separates us from the 5 or 6 other entities that they may be talking to.
Yeah, that just reminded me when I was asking all the power users at that lunch what their favorite feature was. You were that live feature. So let's drill down on that a little bit, because it is a really powerful feature. Drives tremendous conversion, delivers a great educational experience for families. If you could just walk us through your borrower process. Referral calls you. Let's just say they were referred by an agent. What do you say? and try to keep it to the mortgage coach piece. And then do you schedule another call to do live? Just walk us through that process so people can get a feel for the trusted experience that you put families through.
Yeah, generally speaking, what we want to do is right off the bat, where are you in the process? Tell me about where you are. Have you made an offer? Are you getting ready to make an offer? Are you shopping? If so, what neighborhood? What's the range that you're looking in? Just some of the basic questions that you'd ask anybody to kind of get them started talking about where they are in the process and what their goals are. And it's amazing how organically you can pick up a lot of what their goals and objectives are as they're just simply describing, here's where we are in the process.
Right.
And so I take very careful notes at that point. And then what we normally do is once we get it broken down, and again, this is specifically leading into a very quick use of the total cost analysis piece, is let's get an idea what range you're in. Or, let's say, for example, the client says, well, Paul, we're just getting ready to make an offer with Sally on this house in Southwest Portland, and the purchase price is $400,000. Okay, great. I say, I tell you what, I'm going to build this piece, and then I explain to them essentially what they're going to see. Let's get a total cost analysis put together for you. And we talk about how, even if you say, I'm thinking I want a 30-year fixed, I've done my research and I've run, little mortgage calculators online, and I think this payment is kind of what I'm looking for. Even if you're doing that, what I try to do is explain to them that that's obviously not a one size fits all.
Right.
And so here's why we need to have this conversation. Here's why we need to go through this. And then if they're available right then, I can oftentimes build the total cost analysis while we're on the phone discussing other things. Most of the time, I'll say, why don't we schedule a call with, you and your spouse, for a specific time. Maybe it's this afternoon, maybe it's tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, whatever it might be. Let's go over this, and I can answer any questions you have, and you'll have a better idea at that point about which options are going to look best for you, and you'll have a real comfort level for the choices that you're going to make.
Love that. And then you schedule that, they click on the link, kind of describe how the Mortgage Coach Live feature works, because some people are familiar with it, some people aren't. Give people, let's assume it's a mortgage coach using it, knows a total cost analysis, gives the link, but they're not using Live a lot. What coaching advice would you have for them to help them start using that feature?
I think, again, it's a phenomenal way to build a level of trust, give them a level of expertise, and also to make even a more significant connection than you can sometimes, honestly, sitting in front of somebody. Because what Edge Live does is, everybody knows basically what a screen share looks like. And that's really how Edge Live functions. They're seeing their total cost analysis on their screen, and I'm highlighting cash to close, or I'm highlighting 5-year comparison. And obviously the color on the graphs are changing, or the areas are being highlighted. That's happening live on the client's screen. And invariably they'll say, wait a minute, the 3.75 rate just became yellow. And I say, yes, it did. And they say, oh, okay, well, that's great. And people are honestly very impressed with the fact that, oh, you've got the ability to kind of, do all this, highlight various items. And again, it just really hits at home when we're talking about comparing the different options, to do it in that fashion, because you can point them right to where you're talking. Again, whether it's here's cash to close, here's the difference in cash to close, because again, that's something that everybody is needing to take a look at when they're doing a total cost analysis, or again, long-term comparison, 5-year comparison. You're able to direct them to that piece right there on their screen in a way that's very digestible.
Yeah. So I want to connect some dots for some folks, what Paul's doing, because there's like a science to selling. And the way we design Mortgage Coach, it's to serve the family to make an informed decision. but it's also the best and fastest way for you to earn trust as a loan officer and for you to earn the perception on the borrower's part that you're an authority. And you get the trust because you're giving them options. You're saying, hey, program one, program two. You get trust because you're giving them transparency. You're showing the cost over time. That's not telling people that you're trustworthy. That's not earning trust over time by keeping promises. That's earning trust like in 15 minutes because you're just showing options and you're showing transparency. And then you are immediately being perceived as an authority because it's great technology. I'm sure they think, wow, you're educating them in a way far superior than any loan officer peer that in past transactions or current transactions, it's like you are just showing up as the expert with extraordinary knowledge and an awesome platform to deliver value. So when you earn trust and authority all at the same time in 15 minutes, you're the obvious choice. You get the conversion and you get more referrals. And that's what we're all about here at Mortgage Coach, helping you convert, helping you get more referrals. So Paul, that was great. I always like to try to pull a script out of a conversation like this. So give us some scripting of exactly, like, do you call it a total cost analysis? What do you call it to the buyer? You have that high trust interview where you ask questions and now you're kind of teeing up the Mortgage Coach live conversation. Give us some scripting on how you transition that and how you set the expectation for the borrower so that when they get the link, they click on it, they're either on their mobile device, they're in person, they're present. What's that sound like? Give us a script.
Well, we have there are two versions. Well, they're companions. Let's call it that. I have an email which I will actually send to you that you can share with everybody. That is basically just a text that I have that I copy and paste, and it's essentially the it's great. We could connect today. Looking forward to our phone call at blank. Here's the link to your analysis, as I mentioned, and it just refers to, so it sort of refers them back to, this is what I explained was coming. Here it is. So you're going to click on this link, etc. And then one of the biggest, I don't know if it's a script, but it's definitely a bullet point that I like to hit with people as we are looking at the total cost analysis. And really when we're talking about it, even before they get it, is I explain to them that I see my job as being a provider of facts, provider of information for them. You, the client, are going to make the decision. These are the options. You need to be aware of the different options, but you're going to make the decision. I'm not making the decision for you. I'm providing you with this analysis. I'm providing you with this information so that you will be able to make the best decision for you. And I honestly think every consumer out there is much more comfortable when they know I've looked at everything. I've made the choice that's best for me. I didn't do something that somebody told me to do, or I didn't get pushed in a certain direction. I made the choice.
I love that. So I want to close on this thought. We believe, and I think most people believe, that technology's place in the mortgage business is trending. It's increasing. And we also believe that the loan officer is not going to be replaced. I interviewed Steve Brown, who is the former futurist of Intel, and his advice was amplify your humanity with technology. And I think Mortgage Coach is a great example of we just make you the human who's asking questions, identifying goals, an ability to amplify that humanity through advice, through technology. But I mean, you've been doing this a long time, and you're using Mortgage Coach, you're using technology. And let's face it, there's a lot of folks that are traditional loan officers that are still doing fee worksheets. They're not leveraging technology, except for when they have to. Hey, they have to put the loan into the LOS, so they do it. But they're not using Mortgage Coach to deliver advice. They're not using tech to deliver advice and transparency. What advice do you give to your peers that aren't on the technology bandwagon? What advice do you have for them?
Well, those are the people who are going to be in trouble as we move forward, because I do think you're right. I don't think that we as loan officers are going to be replaced, provided that we are able to add this kind of value, provided that we have a comfort level with this technology. And again, you mentioned I'm old school. There's no doubt about that. When I look at ways that I need to be leveraging Mortgage Coach better, I know I've got to make more strides in the mobile piece, because our first time home buyers are doing everything on their phones. And if you're not conversant with them in that arena, in the way that they're comfortable digesting the information, you're going to lose them to someone who is. And so I even see that as a self-improvement note. As we were talking about this, I remembered thinking, I'm going to have to make sure, because I know Dave's going to ask about mobile, and that's the one piece where I feel I sometimes fall down, and it's something that we're going to emphasize even more going forward.
Love it. Love it. Well, I'm going to put a link below to a tutorial. We have a great YouTube channel with all kinds of great interviews, great strategies. I'm going to put a link below to what I think is our best all-time sales training video, which is the scripts call with Tim Brahim and Jeremy and Danny. I'm also going to put a link below on how to use Mortgage Coach Live, the feature that you mentioned. So down below, there'll be a link to that. Hopefully everybody watching this got a takeaway. If you like this video, like it, give us a like in the YouTube channel, and share it with your mortgage friends. Paul, I super appreciate you. I will get another mastermind lunch together and get the band, get the crew back
Get the
together.
band back together.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, that just reminds me of a push to everybody. If you're a mortgage coach, mastermind with other mortgage coaches in your local market. If you want me to introduce you to someone, post on our Facebook page that, hey, I'm in Chicago. I want to do a mastermind with a top mortgage coach, and we'll connect you guys. So we want to see more mortgage coach members getting together, masterminding, deliver better advice to families, and be more successful ourselves. So thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Dave. Good to be with you.
Take care, brother.